Pre-ramble has begun.
No.
Pre-ramble.
Yeah, it's just a pre-ramble.
Let's get ready to ramble. Bum, 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 bum.
Music.
That goes here.
Do.
You don't literally have to do that each time.
I will do it each time.
Heineken, Pabst Blue Ribbon.
You're so right.
Wow, flippers and all. Wow. You are tearing me apart, Lisa. What you know about my boomstick?
You see my distant fellow?
Yeah.
I hate to kill him.
Can I have another bowl, please?
I think you know the way.
But you can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean. Earn your keep.
Welcome to Geekisodes, where everything is topical about everything geek. I am your host, Jacob.
I am just Jesse.
Just Jesse.
I guess since we're doing this, I'm Bubbly Bobby.
I'm just Lawson today.
Oh, really?
That's
Yo-
my
No,
answer.
you can't
What
do
about
that.
the-
You're supposed to be
What about
LL.
the-
You can't be just
Yeah, LL.
just
I already
Awesome.
did livid, luscious, the lustrious.
I
Lovable.
was about to say.
Lustrous.
all the
lovable,
alliteration.
lucid.
I'm pretty sure I did
Ludicrous.
just last episode, so
Yeah.
it's cool.
LL.
Well, I'm never
The licorice lotion.
licorice Lawson. That's it. That's me.
Licorice Lawson. Okay, great.
He's tasty until
That's,
he's black.
Oh, okay.
no.
All right. Well.
Oh no.
Black licorice is not good. This has nothing to do with race.
That being said,
All right.
You can stop
So, guys, we are in a we are in a room, and what are we surrounded by? What do you?
A nerdy's guy's Gundam collection that
What a
he has
Quite
built
true.
over a long period of time and spent less time with his wife while building them.
That is an entire other subject completely.
He has
It sounds like
neglected his
Bobby.
wife to build these Gundams, and she has enjoyed all of her time by herself while he's done it.
Is it my turn to talk?
I don't know, maybe.
Jesse, please do.
No! She's a good lady, and she lets me do things that I have fun with. So
there you go.
Everybody needs a hobby.
I make her happy, so
Oh gosh.
You could do something.
I'm not going any further than that.
You could do something lame. You could stamp collect.
Yes.
That could be your thing.
I could
It's not.
I could
Yeah,
collect
but
coins.
you could
or-
coupon with her. She loves couponing.
Ew.
That's cool.
That's even worse. Okay. But,
Oh snap! You just talking
We're
about
surrounded
his
by
wife.
Gundam model kits.
Yes.
All right. So
Gumplaws, as
let's.
the kids call them.
I guess if you're not catching on by now, our topic for this episode is mechs. Mechas. Mechas? Is that the?
If you got this far without reading the title, then I'm impressed with you. Is all I'm gonna say.
It's mechs. Anything with a person piloting a giant robot, or apparently we're also going to throw in regular robots for some reason.
Well,
so
yeah. Well, I thought we just expand it because some of us here, Jacob, haven't necessarily watched as much anime as the rest of us, and we wanted.
Yeah.
Did you feel that jab?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Many jabs were thrown.
Ooh, yeah.
But it's cool. Yeah.
Hey, if you punch him right now, nobody's going to say anything. We'll keep
I
it
will
in
not
the
punch
podcast
Lawson.
too.
I will not.
We
no.
might throw a 1960s Batman like pow.
Right, where it's like,
Yeah. Just toss it in.
We established this early on in our episodes that we all have unique perspectives. So,
Yeah.
as soon as we start
So-
talking about writing and reading books, I'm out. I have nothing to
Well, that's gonna
contribute.
be. I want that to be an episode later.
yeah. So, but yeah, I've always had here's the thing. I've always had a very complicated relationship with anime because so much of it fascinates me, but so much of it scares the living bejesus out of me.
We're gonna suck you in.
Oh no. And so it's a whole thing, but I will say that my favorite anime shows are the Gundam shows.
Have you watched anything else?
Other than what I told you about?
Other than
G
like-
Gundam?
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna say you said like Gundam shows are your favorite. Have you watched any anime other than?
Oh yeah,
Gundams?
no, I've checked out other stuff.
Okay, I didn't
No, I
know.
really have. Yeah,
I just didn't know.
It's not like I'm like twirling through. I'm not going around going. No, I don't like it. Haven't even seen it. No.
He's not like, what am I going to watch for the summer season of 2008 for anime?
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to be watching.
Yeah.
Citrus.
Okishima Takatuku. Yeah, whatever.
I can
That's
kind of
racist.
I can kind of relate because
Is that racist?
I started out basically,
lesbians.
if it wasn't on Toonami, I didn't watch it,
Yeah.
so I can totally relate to
Yeah,
your-
no, and even when I was younger, I checked out Toonami. But when I got older, it's like, you know, I became more aware of the fandoms, and I became more aware of like the tropes. Yeah. And
So I got a question for
Yeah,
you then.
sure.
What is it about mechs that made you maybe don't like it, but necessarily like it more than other? Or what drew you about it?
here's
What's
the thing.
unique about mechs?
Yes, great question. When it comes to anime shows, they seem to have a lot of, and I don't know if it's, you know, and it probably is, you have to start from the beginning kind of thing, but they Japan has different lore than America. Like a lot of their shows tend to center around either ninja or demon lore, it seems like.
Like,
Or-
you know, we have ghosts and
Yes,
they
and
have like kappas and
yeah, and here's the thing, I
yokais
watch,
and
or not even that, just
watches.
I watch, yeah, it's just none of it is familiar to me, and if I'm watching anything at all out of context, it's really bizarre. Like, I see an entire show where everybody's wearing fluffy kimonos with cat ears and nothing's being explained to me, and it's kind of a turnoff. But giant robots, that's way too easy to understand. That I can
Right.
understand that in 2 seconds, in a millisecond. I see a giant robot, I'm like, okay, that's what this show is
It's
about.
simple.
That's
Simple.
Well, not just simple, just like I catch on to it pretty quickly. If for the longest time, literally for 10 years, guys, I had no idea Dragon Ball was about aliens.
Well, no one did because the creator didn't know it was about aliens
Yeah, but
until
that's
about.
the,
Kinda
but
wrote
that's
it
the
as
thing.
you
I
go.
feel like it's a thing I should have known.
hang on.
I heard that too. I feel like it's a thing I should have known.
Dragon
sooner,
Ball
but
is
I
about
didn't.
aliens?
Yeah,
Well, Goku is named.
Well, you just ruined it
But,
for me. I don't have
yeah,
to watch it.
spoiler
Good
alert.
job.
but that's the thing. It's like, okay, I see, like I said, I see. Basically,
I'm really upset now.
sorry, Bobby.
what?
Giant just spits his water. Yeah. But no, giant robots are, I can quickly understand that and get
Okay.
invested into the show, as opposed to a show where nothing is making sense to me and it's turning me off and I just want to turn away from it because it frustrates me too much.
So it overcomes a lot of that like cultural barrier thing.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
You must have watched a lot of TV shows, like animes that like featured a lot more Japanese stuff.
Yeah.
We got it because like Psychopass is pretty.
Pretty like generic in a way of like it's just there's a world. It's sorry about that. It's a world, and then like it's just set in the future. There's not much like crazy things
We gotta
going
show
on,
them
but
Psychopass.
like ReZero
Indeed.
would be like hard for you to grasp, I guess, because
Yeah.
there's
It's like a deconstruction of
Or-
isekai, and you
I
got
yeah.
watched-
Well,
I
he ends
watched-
up in a world, and there's like lizard people and
Yeah.
cat girls and
I
like
watched
other
this-
humans and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
because I feel like the people who watch any Doctor Who episodes out of context would probably feel the same way in a way.
I don't know. I jumped in the middle and
Oh, really?
caught on. pretty well.
I started with Peter, not Peter Capaldi, Christopher
Eccleston,
Eccleston.
me too.
and-
Yeah, well, so did I,
Well,
yeah.
technically, I accidentally started with why am I having a hard time with his name here lately? And
Is it
Doctor?
the eighth?
favorite, huh?
Is it the eighth?
Which number?
David Tennant.
David Tennant.
I
Okay.
started
Oh,
out
gotcha.
watching David Tennant's like first episodes of the Doctor, and I fell in love with him.
Right.
And I didn't even realize that's the season 2.
Yeah.
And then I had to go back and watch season 1.
So, all of that to say, mechs are more easy to understand for
Yeah,
you.
because it's pretty self-explanatory.
Okay, so
And it's not
I guess
fair.
I'll toss in what I think maybe makes them different from a lot of shows. I have a love-hate relationship with mech shows because a lot of my shows that I really, really actually enjoy are technically mech shows, but they're not traditional mech shows.
okay.
So I'm in this weird position of, like I said, a love-hate
Tell me
relationship.
if this okay, it's something just hit my mind. Tell me if this show sounds familiar. It was somebody showed me the finale of it. And it looked cool, but it was, I don't know. Okay, I think they're in robot suits, but they were
You gotta be more specific.
Okay,
than that.
okay. It was like a cosmic battle in space.
Oh, that's Gurren Lagann, and I hate it.
Oh,
Uh,
but is it the one where they threw galaxies
yeah,
at each other?
Gurren
Yeah,
Lagann
that's Gurren Lagann, and I hate it.
Yeah, why do you hate it?
Because it's an awful show.
Oh.
It's all over the place.
So
Gotcha.
so
it's
we'll,
the one time me and Lawson will
we
agree on
will
something.
we will say this though. This Gurren Lagann is loved by a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
So
one of the most
that's all I'm
universally
gonna say.
respected
And here-
and loved super robot shows ever.
Yeah,
I'm
It's terrible.
going to say something that
in your opinion, it's terrible.
I'm going to say something that will offend one person at this table.
Okay.
One person.
Yep.
I like Gundam 00 and I love G Fighter Gundam. But those are the only two I really like.
That's not offending me.
I don't really like Zeta or 0079, it's hard to get into. It's like it's like committing to a wife to get into it. Like I'm having commitment issues with this because like I watched 26 episodes of Zeta for you to watch Mr. Robot. And then like I haven't watched it since, and it's just it like I'm watching it, I'm like, I don't like Camille at all. If he died or went to jail, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Like I felt
ironically, that's how I felt about Mr. Robot.
and I felt like Lawson at that moment, like I don't like this guy at all, and I'm supposed to like him.
Yes,
like,
you understand how that's how I feel about every show ever. Though.
no, there's difference.
I know,
Is I actually like things, and
know.
you tend to hate them for no reason.
No, for a moment, you like felt how I feel about everything.
Well,
though,
but the consistency is Camille is a terrible person.
Yeah.
If you like talk to people about Camille,
Yeah.
like God.
So
Just such a whiny.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to.
He
You're gonna have to
is-
edit this out. He's just such a whiny
no.
bitch. Like, oh my god. And like most of the
Yeah.
things is his fault. Like seriously, his fault.
But so what I'm hearing a lot of is the unique things about Mech are that it can overcome a lot of like cultural barriers and it's easily recognizable.
Yeah.
But the downside is what comes with maybe that's not being used to its full advantage because a lot of Mech shows require you to get in all this backstory unique to that universe.
Depends, because
It's a
we
lot of
just
Gundam
watched a
stuff.
video explaining that mech shows and idols in Japan
Oh
go
yeah,
hand in
was
hand.
that the Giga video?
Yes.
Yeah,
we
the
watched
Giga's
that.
good. Highly
So,
Yeah,
I don't think we're gonna get idols in
No.
America.
I can't speak to that at all.
But I find it interesting because it actually goes to what you two have both mentioned, goes to kind of how I feel, which is the Mech shows I like are usually the ones without a lot of lore baggage. Getting into spoilery, we'll
That's
touch on
why-
that more later.
That's
but-
why G Fighter and 00 are great because
There's
Zero
no backstory.
00 they don't follow anything with the original Gundam series at all, so you don't need to know anything about that. And creator wasn't into Gundam in the first place, so he just made his own show with giant robots, and it was good.
Which and that kind of goes into the beyond. But that's kind of what the genre really needs.
Yeah.
is that more things.
well,
like
that's
that.
spoiler territory.
Yeah, but that's I won't go any
Yeah.
further than that.
But
Sorry.
let's move on because we got a lot to
Well,
So,
did Jesse
I mean,
really
so-
get a chance to talk about?
No,
that?
I felt.
Oh,
I felt
sorry,
like
I
you just
forgot.
skipped over.
Okay,
me.
look,
Well, you're
here's-
not. But
I've
let
been
me before we get to you.
Okay, I get it.
I've got my hand in front of him. Before we get to you, to clarify, Jesse has, like we said earlier, we're surrounded by Gundams. Jesse has a hobby building these things.
Yes, it's a hobby called Gunpla.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically these plastic model kits, and it's like a mixture of Legos and building car models. It's kind of fun. Well, it's really fun.
Awesome.
But I'm a mech fan.
Yeah.
If you can't tell by our surroundings.
Yeah.
I am into the Gundam series probably more than any other. I've checked a lot of the other ones out. I mean, I grew up watching Transformers and all the just super robot shows.
Yeah.
And like Voltron and stuff. But I think what really kind of sets that stuff apart is just kind of like what you said, just the shock and awe factor.
Yeah.
Of giant robots,
Yeah,
just in
it's
general.
so
I mean,
exciting. So exciting.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and I guess that the term mech is thrown around. So mech is supposed to be like, a person piloting a robot.
A giant
I guess.
robot.
Giant robot.
Yeah.
That's the term. But I guess by means of our discussion, we're just going to, involve all robots.
Well,
for the most part.
we're just allowing.
Most
We're
robots.
focusing on mechs, but I don't want to say like if someone wants to mention a relation to say Transformers, and that's not technically a mech show. I think we could touch on it.
Yeah.
Because actually,
As far as
basically for me, that's something I want to touch on.
There are some interesting things about Transformers
So
that
it's
I
like
did research on.
So it's like American versus.
There's some. Well, I just think that we should. Most American giant robots aren't mechs usually. That seems to be a pretty uniquely Japanese thing. But I thought it could be fun to touch on some of the American takes on giant robots that aren't technically mechs. But again, I mentioned Transformers But then again, like there's things like Pacific Rim, which are technically mechs, but are still kind of American influence. So
can I start again, and
Yeah.
then I'll let y'all have it.
yeah,
So, Jacob, you brought this up before.
Yeah.
A lot of the old shows were made to make a toy line for merchandising.
Yeah,
and Mech is no exception.
really.
It's a lot of the old Japanese cartoon. I can't think of them by name. They're like the old black and white ones, and then when they first
Astro
started-
Boy.
Astro Boy.
Oh yeah,
And
okay.
like the one that looked like Voltron, I can't think of his name.
I can't
It's a
remember.
weird.
Watch
it's
him.
a
I don't know.
yeah something. But that was
Gotcha, man.
specifically made
Gotcha.
for a toy line to sell to Japanese children.
Just like
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Okay.
And then
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and then the Americans kind of adopted all that and changed things because our standards are not the same.
Well, let's
TV broadcasting.
Let's be honest. It's easier to buy the rights to a TV show and that's already been made, and then just redub it for America than it would be to create your own TV show.
Yeah,
That did happen. Both of those happen though, because we have some unique things here as well.
Well, yeah. But I'm saying like they'll go out and buy stuff versus like.
Well, I mean, Power Rangers.
Yeah.
yeah. It is very, very commonplace. Just not in just mech, but like in anime in general, and more prevalent. So back in the 80s, 90s, they would take a Japanese show, re-edit it,
Oh yeah.
rehire voice actors. Well, obviously, they need to do that, and repackage it to American children
Yeah.
and edit it for
Shows
to
like-
get past our broadcasting networks here in the States,
Right.
which were very strict at the time.
Yeah. So shows like Dragon Ball was that process stuff.
There are definitely some
Yes.
things.
Some of the
added to it.
earlier ones.
There's a lot
specifically.
of scenes where Goku's like child Goku's PP shows up. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, they edited that out,
Wait,
and
so-
like they would cuss.
it's
also.
localizing basically.
So wait, so that the rating system in Japan allows that?
Okay, so Japan is a lot stricter nowadays, specifically on violence, and a lot looser on sexual content, quote unquote.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna throw this out there. So Power Rangers here, we get people fighting giant robots and all that thing, but if you watch Japanese Super Sentai,
Yeah.
Which is the
they
version of Power
yeah,
Rangers.
they will show, because I watched a couple episodes, they will show civilians dying.
Okay.
It's
They
pretty
do
epic.
not hold back on that
Okay.
in Japan. Like I watched one and there were like these people holding onto a ledge and they fall. They don't like show them hitting the ground,
Yeah.
but you know what happens.
Well,
Yeah.
what's weird is, it is weird because children's television allows for more violence than like Americans do. But on the upside, like television for adults often is more censored in the violence department there because like we have like our horror movies with more graphic violence,
Right.
And they just, it doesn't matter even if you're adult, they'll just like cut it out. They won't let it in the country.
Wow.
I don't exactly.
We're vice versa here then.
Well, yeah,
I
well,
mean-
and they're a lot looser on sexual stuff.
Yeah.
Usually, stuff that would turn it into like a it's kind of a softcore porn thing
Yeah.
that would be like, okay, that's a rated R movie at least.
Right.
Is just like it's PG-13 or the equivalent, over there.
Oh,
They're a
okay.
lot, so the
That's
standards are different.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all that to say that American and Japanese ideas with super robots are different.
Yeah,
Though.
a good example of that is two. I have two examples
Go for it.
because I did some research before. Because this is my jam. So Voltron, Voltron,
Yes.
the original cartoon.
Well, they just rebooted it kind of recently.
yeah, and which
No,
is it's
been,
pretty
It's
good.
been going for they're on
a
season
few years.
6.
Yeah, but I meant
It's actually good.
It is
really
pretty
decent.
good. It's got some really good voice actors in it. The
Yeah, it's
stories.
Finn from Adventure Time.
Finn from Adventure
Stephen
Time,
Yeun
Stephen Yeun
from,
from Walking Dead
Walking
is in
Dead.
it. I recommend it. It's a good watch if you want.
I watched a little bit of it. I was impressed.
Yeah, it's great. It looks great.
Mm-hmm.
But the original Voltron, which came out in the mid 80s?
70s?
Was it the 70s?
I think it was 70s.
It's
It
like
might
I
have
think
been.
the late 70s,
I guess I didn't do my
early
research
80s.
Anyways, it's funny because the guy who brought it to the States was at a science fiction convention, and he saw a robot on the I guess on a poster. He's like,
Right.
I want to make a show about that for kids, and he contacted the the producer, which was it
Toy animation.
Toy Animation? I think that's who
Yeah,
did
I guess
Voltron.
yeah.
I didn't write this stuff down. It's all from memory.
Right.
But this guy, and it's like this old, this older gentleman that it wants to make a show for children, and basically, he requested the show. They sent him a different robot from what he saw on the poster, which
Okay.
was Voltron,
Yeah.
and they edited 3 seasons. And he just kind of like mixed and matched from those 3 seasons, and like put it into an
one show.
American, I guess, show.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you watch Voltron now, it started to digress because the Voltron in the Japanese series progressively got better. Like the Voltron we know, he's like the third final form, and he looks so cool. But they used that first,
started with it,
and then it got progressively less cool.
I'm gonna go back to Power Rangers on this because like
they did the same thing there.
Well, yeah, Power Rangers like they use the same Mighty Morphin Power Ranger suits for like ever, and then they ran out of stuff, and like in Japan, the Super Sentai people are like, we're not going to refilm anything else, so you got to switch. That's how you got to Zero and Zeo and everything else, because they weren't going to keep on remaking scenes for them to use.
So the alternative was a new show?
No, well, they just changed suits because the way Power Rangers works, they turn into a new theme. So our Power Rangers, Power Rangers was like, if you watch the original series, it went from dinosaurs, and then to like a samurai type. The Zords came to like samurais, and then to like animals, then to ninjas. Yeah. And then we went to Zero, which was like shapes, and then cars. You know, it was supposed to switch up suits, but the first incarnation just kind of kept on just changing Zords to go with the suits. Even though I will say this, the Power Ranger suits for the ones after Mighty Morphin in Japan were probably the best suits that I've seen. Like, and they should have switched it, but they didn't. But whatever. Yeah. But let's get back to like what we're on our favorite mechs.
No.
We're not gonna do the favorite mechs yet.
We have to do a plug first for a remake of a movie.
Remake?
Yeah, that's on the list.
I don't think it's a
Producers.
remake. I think it's a re-release.
Oh, excuse me, re-release. I mess that up every time.
Right. Yes.
Well, you're the one that brought this to our attention, right?
Yeah, so. it's a fantastic movie.
Okay.
It's going to be releasing on
What's it called?
It's called Alex Steel.
Oh my.
Yeah, Alex Steel 2. It's a sequel.
Love it.
Wait, but they're not releasing the first one.
The first one's already been released.
Oh, I missed. Okay.
Yeah, so the first one was like, it was good, but you know.
Okay.
Yeah, but this one's better. So it's Alex Steel 2, Operation Megalodon Overdrive.
Oh, I mean, like, I'm already interested.
Yes.
That sounds cool.
So.
All right, so I guess we'll hear the promo for that then.
Yeah.
Perfect.
They thought it was over, but it was far from over.
I have finally created it. The monster that will help me rule the world.
The giant monster's attacking. There's only one person for the job. Give me Alex Steel.
Alex Steel? A giant monster? This will be a monster of a time. Dr. Terror, how are you still alive after I threw you into that volcano?
You don't die, Alex Steel.
Get ready for action.
Bullets aren't working.
Maybe we just need a bigger bullet.
Alex Steel!
Adventure.
There's only one bullet strong enough to destroy this monster. It's in Egypt. The bullet was created by...
Jesus Christ. Always saves.
This summer, Alex Steel saves the world again in Alex Steel 2, Operation Megalodon Overdrive. Now available on PAX Movie of the Week and your local Christian movie bookstore.
You're watching PAX TV. Share it with someone you love.
And that is how I ended up getting out of that situation.
Wow.
Did we just...
Not even what I was meaning.
I know.
Not even close.
I know. Did you know I did that on purpose just to upset you?
Oh.
We're all sweating after that story.
So bad. Wasn't even close to what I was talking about the last time.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but I didn't want to do it.
Well, you're gonna have to edit it all the way at this point. Well, you can watch Alex Steel 2 Operation Megalodon Overdrive on PAX Network. If you still get PAX.
The PAX Network.
I'm so glad I made you do
people
that.
still get PAX? I mean, that's still a thing.
God.
I don't see why not.
I'm so happy right now.
Make me so mad right now. You do not understand how mad I am right now.
Let's
I want to drop kick you out.
I don't even know what's going on, but
I'm kind of confused too, Jacob.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Wait, Bobby, do you want to clarify? Do you want to?
Last time we recorded, I specifically brought up the idea that when we come back from a commercial, we just say something that really weird and never give context to it.
Gotcha.
And then
But
he just did it. He just brought it back. He brought back what I was wanting to do, but he did it the completely wrong way, in the most nerdiest way possible. Because one, it's only funny that it's hurting me right now, and it's not funny on its own. It's
That was the whole point.
We're editing this all out, right?
No.
Sure.
No,
Yeah,
we're keeping it.
It's really fucking stupid. All right.
Yeah, we're editing that. Yeah.
I have to edit that. Please, you're making this so difficult on me now. Darn you both.
Oh my.
Jacob,
Well,
you're my best friend now.
love you, buddy.
Hang on. Just because of that, and he's your best friend now.
Yes.
That's how it
Is that
works.
how this works?
That's how I take
You're
my
like-
work seriously.
You're like so not in the group now,
I'm
Bobby.
so happy.
Um,
All right, I won't do it again, but I had to because I Come on, that was funny.
Okay.
It wasn't.
Okay.
It was awful.
And
It's like your dad making a joke.
reel it in, boys. Reel it in. Reel it in. Reel it in.
I'm waiting for the and welcome. The and welcome.
And welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's get to our next subject. Who wants to bring us in? Jesse, Lawson.
Oh no.
Lawson gets it. Let Lawson do
Let's
it.
start from the right.
Lawson.
All right,
With
so
the luscious L.
yes,
The
yes,
luscious
of course.
He's licorice Lawson.
That's
today.
right. Today,
Licorice Lawson.
that's right. So specifically, we are going to talk about mech designs.
Okay.
At first, and then we're going to loop around to kind of shows we like, because we've been very vague and kind of touched on some things that we enjoy. But I
Gotcha.
thought it would be good to maybe go over some of the specifics. Do we want to start with me then, since I'm the one talking already?
Yes.
All right.
Go for it.
And Jesse requested that we have some pictures, and if I'm not lazy, they'll be on the screen on the YouTube version of this. Which, by the way, we mentioned we should talk about this, and I figured this.
This is a great opportunity to plug.
Yeah. You want to go for it, man?
Sure. If you're wanting to listen to more of our podcasts, please visit www.youtube.com
Yeah.
and type in Geekisodes in the search
You
bar.
forgot the / Geekisodes.
Man, I'm so sorry. If you're still listening to this, don't forget the /.
Well, so we are on a couple other places, but YouTube is the most specific place, the most consistent place, I should say, to hear us at. So if you're listening to this on another place, sometimes we're there, sometimes we're not. We're having trouble kind of getting staying on SoundCloud, and we're trying to get on iTunes, but
The podcast, I guess,
yeah,
applications and venues are kind of
we're still working on that. But YouTube is the most consistent place. We're always on time there, and
Right.
we're all the backlog is there. So if
So-
you hear this and want to hear older episodes, YouTube's the place to go.
Yeah.
And
YouTube's
we
the
have
hotspot.
we have one episode on
iTunes.
iTunes.
One.
It's not even our first one. Too.
One.
It's
No,
basically
it's
the
our
best.
second one.
If you want to hear the second episode again, go to www.itunes.com.
I think give us a rating and a like. That helps us.
Oh
out.
my gosh. Yeah. So all that to say.
Please do that.
Yeah. I'm gonna
But
keep saying
anyways,
that. I'm
we're
stuck in a loop.
we're talking about mechs and our favorite designs.
So the good, the bad, and the weird is kind of the theme here, and specifically, just a good mech design, a bad mech design, and a weird one. I cheated, and I have I think 2 for each one, but I'll go over them quickly.
That's okay.
So for good, I really enjoy, of course, Burning Gundam or God Gundam.
Oh yes.
Who's I got a
That's
picture
fair.
there.
Let's talk about this for a second.
Yeah. So
So-
the picture should be on screen, hopefully.
This is your good pick.
Yes, this is
So
for the good.
why is this your good pick?
Because the design is really cool looking. I love the almost wings and the giant burning halo in the background when that's kind of... I know that's not always activated, but it's really cool when it is. I am also a bigger fan of the kind of martial arts-esque close combat style. I really enjoy that. And even the almost... I know it's weird, but like the almost combat skirt looking thing actually really, I think, is a unique design, and I really like it, where it kind of hits that... My design sensibilities are how far can we push something where it's on the edge between stupid and awesome, and that's what I love. Like
G Gundam does that excellent.
Oh yeah, and well, I was honestly really like Master Gundam's pretty good too, but I didn't. So that's pretty good. But because I don't want to spend too long, I got a couple of each. Also on good because I cheated is Anubis from Zone of the Enders specifically.
Yes.
Oh, there
so
it is.
Yeah.
Zone of Enders.
Yes.
Can you? That's a video. That's a video.
Oh, okay,
game?
yeah, quick. So
Hideo Kojima.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Hideo Kojima did 2, and there's supposed to be a 3rd. I don't think it happened, and that's sad. But he just made a weird mech space. It's like super anime. All the cutscenes are anime, or a lot of them are. I haven't actually played it all the way
Police Knots.
through, but Police Knots is cool too. But that's a whole other subject. But I really like this design, and of course, again, that cross between cool and really dumb, because of course you have the quite literal cockpit, and I think that's fantastic. No, seriously.
You said cockpit.
Oh
Yeah,
my
so,
gosh.
So if you look
Oh,
closely,
oh
now
my.
you can see. So
wow.
But it just pushes that line between really stupid.
This
and,
is Bob.
And so
Yes.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of that. So then I guess the bad, or do we want to do good all the way around, then bad all the way around, then weird all the way around? Which
Do cover all three.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest
Go
with
for it.
you. I didn't know we're doing bad and ugly, so I
that's
only
what I
have
put.
good.
That's okay.
It's okay.
That's okay. So then bad, I have here. You guys might get upset about this, but so first off, I have specifically the film, the live action film version of Optimus Prime, because that's what I hate his design.
That's fair.
I actually like cartoon Optimus Prime. He's cool, especially in the film.
Yeah.
But like he does all the Transformer designs in the live action movies are so dang busy.
Yeah, they
That's
are.
Well, they make no sense.
well,
They
that's who Megan Fox played, right?
I'm pretty sure you're right.
Am I correct?
So, can I make a comment
Go for it.
on what I hated about the Optimus Prime?
Okay.
Now, I'm one of the weird people that enjoyed the Transformers movies. They are what they are.
Right.
They're not like an Oscar-winning movie. I enjoyed the ride.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
It's not my favorite movie.
Yeah.
But the thing I hated probably the most about the Optimus Prime was he had a face.
Face.
Yeah,
and I know
no,
some other
understand.
Transformers had that,
Yeah.
but
Oh, I
he
see what
didn't
you're
have
saying.
that.
Yeah.
And
Instead of
he
like
has
the mask.
He has like a solid mask over his face.
He has a shredder face.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he has like a moving mouth, and I was like, that's not Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Not even Bumblebee got really.
Yeah.
Bumblebee just had like that hole right there. It never moved. It's just
Yeah, and that's who Shia LaBeouf played, right? Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Bumblebee.
Okay,
Yes,
gotcha.
That's correct.
And then
Yeah,
at
it
the
is.
end, they
Great.
made sweet
And-
robot babies.
Yes, perfect casting.
Gosh. And then my other bad is, and this I don't know if this will hurt you or not, but Turn A's design, I have trouble with it. I can't get past
It's
the
weird.
mustache.
Yeah, it's very strange.
It was actually that was one of the.
It looks like a plain hot dog for Max.
Jacob,
you know?
go ahead and grab that down there at the bottom. He's right there. Yeah, I actually have a model kit of him.
So yeah, well the thing
It's
is,
okay if he
he was
falls
actually
apart. I don't care.
he was one
Okay.
of the first, if not the first, main Gundam designed by an American, right? If I remember correctly.
I haven't researched that.
I believe that's accurate,
So-
but don't kill me if I'm wrong.
So the Turn A series is very strange.
Yeah.
Well, it's praised, but at the same time, it's like you watch it and you're like, this is a bunch of hippies.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like, woo. But
So-
it's a very so describing him. Normally Gundams have this thing called a V fin.
Yeah.
It's like horns.
Yeah.
Okay.
His is on his mouth.
It's a
and
mustache.
It looks like a mustache.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He
It's
looks like
and
Gold
all-
Roger if he was a robot from One Piece.
Oh, okay.
And
For One Piece.
another
Yeah,
weird another weird thing about Turn A is whenever he activates his special ability or whatever, he grows butterfly wings.
yes.
Oh,
So
is the driver in the
Yes.
Another
He-
cockpit.
Oh,
cockpit.
another cockpit. I love it. So that's where. So how
Yeah.
does it?
it drops. Yes, it actually does.
I'm being such a 12-year-old
Which-
right now. This is great.
Which think about that. That is probably one of the worst place to put the pilot.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Thinking logically,
It's like, yeah,
it's
is
a
that
terrible
a-
place.
So
Is that a?
Well, I mean, that's no different than like
Well, in the center of the chest,
Millennium
covered by
Falcon's
armor,
cockpit being on the side.
which is a bad design. If you think about it.
so
Kessel Run, guys.
I'm gonna
Kessel Run.
I'm gonna cheat here, and this is my weird. So I'm gonna start off with one that really isn't a mech, but it's just a large robot, and then I'm gonna do an actual
You
mech.
already did that.
I know, but I'm doing it again. So it's the geckos from Metal Gear Solid are my weird, because oh my gosh, if you've
Yeah.
ever seen so they're giant, basically giant
hybrids.
turrets mounted to
On
like legs, and they moo at you. So seriously, they're running around like in these giant. And they're like 2 stories tall.
Okay.
And they
So-
run around like trying to shoot you, and they're like. "Mrrr."
We have just
so
introduced
weird.
Jacob to Hideo Kojima, which is we've brought him up like 4 times the
Yeah.
last couple days. He is the director of the Metal Gear Solid series.
Oh, okay.
And he wanted to be a real movie director. He created those things.
He's the
Gotcha.
David. He's the David Lynch of
Oh, yeah.
video games.
Ooh,
But
I
weirder.
like it.
And
That's
then
a good- that's a
Ray
good
is
way
a
to
second if I can't choose geckos, because
paint
you
it
can
for
actually
me.
put someone in that. It's an actual mech. So
He's
That's
the one.
fair.
David
That's
Lynch is the
fair.
only one I can think of. Like,
No, that's-
with
it's-
describing
that works fine.
Hideo Kojima.
yeah, so those are my picks: the good, the bad, and the weird.
Excellent. Yeah. That's a
Yeah,
good conversation.
David Lynch is a very like, wow, huh?
On
kind kind of directors.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Wow.
It's like watching Twin Peaks. You're like,
yeah.
What?
Like first season, you're like,
what does this midget have to do with anything right now?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
got through the first season.
That's a whole
sorry.
nother thing. That's a whole nother thing.
Oh, gosh.
Whole nother thing.
Oh, gosh.
Wow. Oh, I have.
So I think Bobby's turn though.
I
Is
guess
it Bobby's turn?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Does Bobby want to go?
All right.
Bobby?
So I have a bunch of good ones, and I just remembered. Well, I have 2 bad ones, but
Yes.
I have Nightmare Frame Lancelot from Code Geass.
Okay.
Yeah,
That is a cool.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
They have some cool mechs in Code Geass.
I will say this, and I hope I don't get put to the stake for this, but I haven't seen Code Geass. I've always wanted to watch it. Just never sat down.
Don't
one
waste
part,
your time.
Do it. You'll like
have
it because
varying
I know
opinions.
you better than he does. You will like it.
If you like terrible mind control plots, you're good for it.
The frames for the series, like the Mech design, is always kind of appealed to me. So
I really think you'll like it.
the Nightmare Frame looks really.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the Nightmare Frame for a second? How it looks and describe it.
So the cool thing about Code Geass is they get their mechs, and then slowly over time they upgrade them. They don't just stay the same, and then like, oh, the pilot gets better, so he gets better. But like they change. This one goes from like it gets like these green hologram wings type thing that they get later on. But Nightmare Frames are pretty much like Gundams, but they're like. They're Gundams, and then in Gundam series you have the lower class, just mobile suits.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like that. They have like he has a sword he can use. He has like 2 guns. He's super fast. Suzaku, I think you'll like. He's the main character. Well, he's not the main character.
he's
the secondary protagonist.
Gotcha.
His whole deal is he wants to change the system, but
From the inside.
From the inside, and do the right way to try to change the system, while Lelouch wants to...
Who's the main character?
He wants to do it from the outside and do it not Shizaku's way of doing it.
So he's starting... Basically, Lelouch is starting rebellion, while Suzaku is joining the homeland military, trying to change it from the inside. They both have similar goals, but they're going about different ways.
Yeah.
That's the setup.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I said. That's all I said.
Sounds so enthusiastic about
Well,
it.
like, I actually think the setup's decent. I think the execution's terrible, but that's a whole other discussion.
So, my second one is the White Ranger Megazord.
Nice.
It is
beautiful.
It is
I agree.
by far like that season where it's the White Ranger, and then they have like the Samurai Megazord, the Thunder Megazord as they call it. Those 2 are like my favorite Megazords.
Nice.
Of Power Rangers because they're awesome.
Awesome.
Plus, the White Ranger is like the best. He has a sword that talks to him.
That is amazing.
It is amazing.
R.I.P. Saba. And because I had to throw in some Gundams. My favorite Gundam, 00 Riser.
That's a pretty cool one.
That's a good Gundam.
That's a really cool looking design.
It's an upgraded version of Exia.
Yeah.
So if anybody's unfamiliar
It's
with the show,
it's his final form. I didn't watch the movie, so you might have got an upgraded movie.
they actually had the PG, which is a perfect grade model, sort of like the big ones of the Gunpla, and they had the PG Riser at MTAC this year, an anime convention near our location, and I was tempted. I'm not even gonna lie.
I told you to buy it.
You said you had a couple bad ones though that you'd found.
Oh, hang on, I got one more before.
Oh,
the
sorry,
good one.
my bad. I misunderstood.
Zoids Liger, which is a white tiger from Zoids.
Nice.
I really liked it when I watched it, and I was like, I forgot about this. And I'm gonna throw this out there because it was great.
As a bad design?
No, it's good.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, I thought you said
No.
bad. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. No.
I misunderstood.
I like Liger Zero. I'm about to fight.
No. I like Liger. Bads, which I don't have pictures of right now, are Gurren Lagann.
Wait, just the entire show?
We have some Gurren Lagann hate going on right now.
Well, they don't make any sense.
I'm sorry. I just
No.
saw the picture on just as
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, they don't make any sense. Like they're like it's like three heads put together and it makes no sense.
Everything is a head.
Yeah, it's
So-
and like the way like the original one thing just I'm now control the whole mech.
So that's the problem I had with Gurren Lagann is okay, there's like 2 mechs,
Wait,
Garen and Logan. I guess that's what the show's called. Garen
We're
Logan.
getting into the next topic, but
well, I'll
Yeah.
explain it. This is
Yeah.
why I think it's a weird or arguably bad mech design. This is how they become one being.
So everything's a head again.
He takes the head of it,
the smaller head,
and he
screws it
into the metal body.
And it doesn't like connect. He like
it
just
doesn't
shoves
connect
it
with
through.
like.
It's
he literally just takes his head and pushes it on its head, and they're one robot.
Yeah, it's like pushing 2 toys together, and then being like, oh, it's one toy now.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like,
just
what?
Frankensteining heads onto.
And this is probably my most hated of all mechs.
I just saw the phone. What's on Jesse's
Yeah, that's
phone?
why I was laughing earlier.
Sorry.
I
Put it away.
My most hated mech of all time. The recently 2017's Power Ranger movie, the Zord. I absolutely hate that Zord.
I
It
will
is
agree. That's a good pick.
ugly. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It makes. And here's how you know that it doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
When it falls into the pit, it just comes out like that. They have no idea how they wanted them to come together.
They're just like, this is the way we want them to look.
Yeah.
And
in Power Rangers, every time they came together, it was like a scene where they
sequence.
just shows them connecting, and it made sense.
which is so hype.
Yeah.
It gets you, like you say, when Power Rangers did it, you got so excited about it. You're like, yeah, they're coming to work together as one. I'm so pumped for this.
Yeah, but now when it's just like, oh, now I'm a humanoid. I'm like, don't even make sense. Like, all it is like, oh, here's blue, here's black, yellow,
Yeah, I'm
pink.
looking at it right now. It's
It's
like,
so ugly.
it doesn't have a lot of character to it. I mean,
It looks
Lawson
like
wants to
it.
see it.
It looks like an alien.
Yeah.
It looks like a rejected Bionicles design.
But like, but the thing goes,
I remember Bionicles.
I'm gonna throw this out. It's like
that's
like
a better.
yeah, I'm gonna throw Alpha also in that movie looked horrendous.
It looks like if Megatron were like not Megatron, sorry, Optimus were like a fashion designer, you know?
Yeah.
Like a sassy fashion designer.
Like whoever designed that, and I'm even gonna throw in the suits, which I got more comfortable with during the movie. They should get fired. They should totally get fired. Never go back to them for anything.
What's more offensive to me is Goldar.
Goldar was a bad design too. It's like,
well, he was.
What
I know
design?
exactly
why-
what you're talking about.
Why would
Walking-
you mess up
There
Goldar
it is.
so hard?
it's not hard to do.
It's walking.
Oh, we're gonna have to
liquid
have
is
a
all
Power
it
Rangers
was.
episode.
Yeah, we totally will.
That's a whole tangent.
So Jesse,
It's my turn. So everybody was laughing earlier because I
Yes.
leaned my phone over. I'm a bad
just
poker.
assume
that's
I'm
the
a
weird.
bad poker player, by the way.
Yeah, we see your entire deck.
You see my
your
hand
entire
here.
hand.
So
you're gonna
yes,
start with the
please.
weird then.
So do you want to
That's
do you
gotta
want to
be the weird.
describe what I had on my phone that made you laugh?
I will describe it.
I can't see it.
It's so great.
I'm ready for battle.
Is that a windmill?
It's Windmill Gundam. Haven't you seen that?
Wait, no, it's
No.
a transformer, right?
No.
No, it's a Gundam.
This is a Gundam.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so
Okay.
let
I
me
don't
explain.
remember it.
This
yeah.
this particular suit. This falls into my my weird category.
Yeah.
Your weird
Excuse me, my weird
category.
category.
Okay.
So you have to explain the setup to explain why it's so funny too.
So this is
Gundam.
Neo Holland, and it is a windmill Gundam
Right.
that fights for their country.
So how do you fight? Like, what's the tournament rules that he?
So in Gundam, it's basically
G
like
Gundam, yeah.
in G Gundam, it's a Mortal Kombat fight basically.
Kind of a battle royale.
Battle
sometimes,
royale,
yeah.
whoever wins. So somehow this guy made it all the way to the end of the series in the final tournament.
Yeah.
And you look at it, you're like, how?
Yeah.
Wait, in G Gundam?
In G
Yeah, he makes
Gundam.
it to the end.
He makes it to the.
So do you want to know how?
He's
So
very. It's very
weird.
subtle. He shows up.
Yeah.
But his special ability is that windmill turns so fast that it creates a typhoon of air and it blows them away.
So no, but the way he got through is he's almost like a transformer because he can disguise himself as a windmill.
Yes, he can.
Oh my god.
So he disguises himself as a windmill to the very end, and then just shows up and is like, "I'm here."
Oh, that's how he survives to the end.
Yes.
He can also use his windmill as a propeller to fly around.
Okay, so guys, this is what I can best describe as the Juggernaut's armor from X-Men mixed with a 1980s Transformer robot with a windmill. The picture before had a windmill on his chest, and this one now instead of legs, he has the windmill. to enable him to fly.
Yeah, like kind of like a reverse helicopter.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, they look like lawnmower blades, but like.
That's a pretty good pick.
So
yeah, that is. Wow.
Yeah.
Just
wow. Here's another picture of him. He said, "We shall see how fearsome my tremendous windmill is."
His tremendous windmill.
Yes. Doesn't he get taken out like instantly
He does.
when he finally gets in a fight?
I forget who he fights. You'll have to rewatch the series.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a
he
hot
finally
second.
unhides, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, you were hiding the whole time." He's like, "Yeah, but I'm good at combat too." And then he gets like one hit KO.
Oh
like,
dang.
Yeah. So I'm kind of going in a weird order.
Yeah, sure.
My bad design comes from this show called Kura Makuro.
Yes.
It's an anime.
Oh yeah, I know. That's on Netflix, I think.
And let me explain this anime because it's weird.
Anime? Weird?
Yeah,
Those
anime
never
weird?
associate.
What? This one's. I got pretty far in it.
Yeah, further than I did.
Yeah. So it's like it has time travel, freezing people, and then waking up in the future.
Hey, it's weird because like it shows like the main character in like feudal Japan, and he has somehow he ends up with a mech. I don't know how he ends up with a mech.
It's a mech in feudal Japan, and
Yeah,
you're like,
feudal
oh,
Japan.
wow.
Feudal Japan,
Like you do.
Mech.
Yep.
He's a samurai. He gets frozen, ends up in the future.
Yeah.
He meets a girl who looks like his princess back in the in the day.
Okay.
And so like they have to team up together to fight off other evil robots.
So the mech designs in this show, they're
not great.
They're not great at all, and they kind of made me angry because they're very blocky and just they tried to be
very
different
boxy.
with them, and they're just strange. So here's a sample
If I
of.
remember correctly, it looks like they have like humps.
They do. It's like blocks.
Like Quasimodo or Black Eyed Peas? What are we talking?
Quasimodo.
So that's an example of some of the mechs.
Yeah. I think you're thinking of lumps.
Lumps.
Yep,
They're
that's true.
very lumpy.
Oh, ew.
My lovely lady lumps.
So this is the main character.
Yeah.
This is the main mech in the show.
The main character sounds like
It's
he
just
smokes a
kinda-
pack a day.
Like the color, the color pattern on here is kind of boring. It's red and black.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like.
Doesn't look like it's
blocky.
excited to be a Gundam.
No, his legs look
Well, it's
weird.
not
I
a
don't.
Gundam, but...
Or
No, this is
Mech,
not a Gundam,
sorry.
but it's just a mech. But one of the enemies, I think, is called a cactus. I don't know the name of these. Yeah, so he's called a
Oh
cactus.
my gosh, that is the worst looking thing.
It is the worst looking thing I've ever seen. It's very unpleasant to look at.
That looks like
Yeah.
a Cubics reject.
Yeah. So
Cubics.
Do you not remember
I
Cubics?
remember Cubics.
Robots for everyone.
So
It was an awful, awful show.
My personal opinion, I did not like Kura Makuro.
Okay.
I didn't not like the mechs.
We're gonna get all the comments on YouTube.
I know.
I've loved Kura Makuro. You're stupid.
Storyline was
again,
okay.
it's probably
It's just-
minuscule.
And
Yeah.
and you're good.
If
and
we
my-
see them, I'll be surprised. I'm
good.
like, oh, you're doing something with your life.
like I said, I'm a big Gundam fan, so
Right.
obviously this choice is
Shock and awe.
predictable.
Right.
I really like Zeta Gundam.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
He's very sleek, and despite Bobby's disinterest in the show plot, I do think the mech looks cool.
That has nothing. I never said anything about the
No, I know
mechs.
you
I
didn't.
said the show is
So-
a commitment.
Yeah, very much true. But he's very. The reason I picked him, he's very sleek and he's just cool looking. Like his faceplate, like normally they changed it up a little bit from the original design, but he's just. And he also has a transformation where he transforms into a. He looks just so sexy. Sorry. This is like my eye candy.
We need to leave you in the
But
thing alone.
No.
We'll come back in 20 minutes.
he has a
You finish up.
transformation. I thought I'd take a picture of this, but didn't. But he actually transforms into like an airplane mode.
Okay.
So he's got
Oh,
like a transformation. that he does.
slick.
So it's one of the first times they kind of did that.
Okay.
To my face
Jacob?
for that comment.
Me? Well, I hate to be that guy in class who didn't do his homework, but yeah. Can I just again? And I've kind of wanted myself to be. I'm making excuses. The outsider of the group in the first place. So
It's okay. We love you, even though you're lazy.
yeah.
It's okay.
So having that said, can I just talk about my favorite Gundam show?
Sure.
Well, that can lead us into the next topic
Yeah.
because it was the good, the bad, and the weird for shows,
Yeah.
not just designs.
Great.
So we'll just jump straight to that.
Yeah. I guess okay. Or the one I really got into, like, I'm gonna paint this picture for you. I'm young. I'm naive. I don't know any better. You know. I'm thinking about innocent things. And I come across this Japanese anime show. Again, I don't even know the concept of
Versus
Japanese
the
anime.
American anime.
Right. And basically, I come across G Gundam that happens to play on Toonami.
Yes.
And I absolutely adored it. I loved the hype, the mechs, I love the main character's name, and I love his design, Domo Kashu. That's
gosh, yes.
That's such a dope
so
name.
Cool.
And I love his cape. I love his bandana as his samurai sword. He's cool. I love the whole thing. I love Jiminy Crockett. That's like the coolest name I've ever.
Dude, in the first episode, Domon catches a string of machine gun bullets thrown at him with his bare hands.
Yes. And it was amazing.
How epic is that?
It was, and Jiminy Crockett is the coolest name I've ever heard so far.
He's the American pilot.
Yeah. He is the American
piloting
pilot.
Gundam Maxter.
And I will give the Japanese credit. It's pretty accurate. He's a pretty accurate American.
So that may be one of your weird or cool ideas.
Yeah.
On Gundam Maxter, his shoulder pads pop off.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they become boxing gloves.
Yes.
And he whoops the tar out of some people the American style way.
Yep, the American
Marca.
style.
It's so, and I don't know. I got a kick out of it as a kid. I really, really loved it. And I watched it not too recently. And it still holds up. It's a lot cheesier, of course, than I remembered, but it's this level cheesy that I get a good thrill out of.
Amazing.
It's really amusing. Of course, the classic. What does he do? He does the shining.
Shining
So
finger.
Yes.
So
And then
Shining
as he's doing that.
Shining Gundam gets upgraded to Burning Gundam.
Yes,
but
which is my
when
favorite.
he's Shining Gundam, it's Shining Finger.
Yeah.
When he turns into Burning Gundam, it's Burning Finger.
And-
which they're both epic.
Oh yeah, and when he does it in
Yes.
the very beginning of the show, when he did it, he was desperately searching for his father.
No.
His brother.
Brother.
Yes.
Yes.
Whoa! I kept
Have you
hearing
seen this
father.
man?
Yes.
Whoa!
And then at the end,
Hold the
he's
phone.
fighting for love.
I kept hearing father. He's
It's
looking
brother.
for his
I
brother.
promise you, it's his brother.
brother.
What?
Yes.
Yes, I promise.
Okay,
you.
I need to rewatch it. Anyways, he would always be like, "Have you seen this man?" And then they're like, as they're getting,
they're getting burned. Like,
they're
to
getting
death.
burned to death. They're like, no. Like they're awkwardly cornered with, "Have you seen this guy?" He's just like showing them a picture.
Yeah, the
They're
screen
like,
just pops up like as their mech is falling apart.
I'm
around.
going to throw this out. G Gundam is like one of the only animes I ever watched where you frequently see a man's butt. And
Are you talking about Domon's butt? When,
yeah, because like
when
when
he goes through the goop?
when he goes through the like
It's the suit.
the suit he comes on and like it just is and then it goes a close up of his butt.
It's not
Like
bare
for the
bottom.
ladies.
It's
No.
latex covered bottom. Very tightly.
Either way, it's
It's
the
like- it's
equivalent
like
of in Batman.
I was going to say the same Batman
Or
when
David
they do the
Bowie.
Okay,
No,
David
David
Bowie's
Bowie's a lot different. And it's from
That's
the
a whole
front.
nother level. That's why I desperately did not want it to be re-released in 3D. But
I will watch that in 3D. Labyrinth in 3D would be amazing.
Dance, magic dance.
Dance, baby, dance.
Hey, I don't want to get caught by copyright
We're
issues.
okay as long as we don't go over like a minute.
we're fine.
So that's your answer for your show then?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, you answered my. I'll start from weird because G Gundam's on mine. I won't. We've talked a lot about G Gundam, so I won't keep going. But
Yes.
I adore it. It's amazing.
It's a solid series.
Yeah, it's weird though. That's why it's
Even
even,
though-
weird.
even though, like-
good.
And it's not as
Big fans of Gundam hate it though
yeah. Why do they hate it?
because
So-
it's not Gundam.
because they're pretentious.
No. I love G. It's probably one of my more favorite series out of the bunch. But like even on the model kit side, they don't have a lot of G Gundam stuff.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of potential. Like,
Dude, there's some. I think
there's some of the coolest
interesting
designs.
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 Yeah, like Gundam Rose.
But-
I like Gundam Rose.
It's
I'm
he's the French. Gundam Rose is like the French country.
So French.
So he's got like
And
this.
Allenby's
Has
mech
its
too.
sword.
Yeah, that's Noble Gundam.
Yeah.
So Japan for whatever reason, I don't think it was successful. I don't know.
America loves it. Japan does
America
not.
loves it. Japan does not. So there's not a whole lot of
And Japan makes all the mech kits and stuff.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So there's not a whole lot of
Okay.
push for G Gundam. It's kind of the redheaded stepchild of the
Yeah.
series.
So and
unfortunately.
then my other answer for weird is Turn A, just because that's
Turn
a
A.
friggin' weird show. Like its canon is weird, its characters are weird, its plot is weird. I
Yeah.
kept watching it, and I'm like, I even at the end I couldn't decide if I hated it or loved it. Like, and it wasn't like there's parts I hated and there's parts I loved. Like, I just felt conflicted and confused the entire time through.
that sounds like a Gundam show.
Yeah. And then I got to the end, I was like, I watched that, and like I don't know what I think about it, and I still don't know. And so and there's very few things I don't know. Usually I have a pretty strong one way or the other opinion on things, and I to this day have no clue how I feel about Turn A.
That's fair.
So bad. Bad is going to be my number one most hated mech show is Code Geass. Absolutely.
Is that the one we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, so yeah. That's a whole other episode to itself, because I think a lot of other people really enjoy it, and that's fine. My problem isn't actually the mech aspect of things. It's the mind control aspect of things. The main character's power is mind control, and I think it's a lazy writing trope, and I think it's used. I think it's one of the worst or best examples of terrible writing with mind control.
Okay.
It's not like they didn't give him like rules to follow by, or
they break the rules all the time, and those rules are stupid. And
none of that ever happened.
No, I'm just saying that it's terrible. I think it's the worst example I can think of writing with mind control, using it as a crutch instead of actually using it intelligently. I think ever. But the mech side is fine, but that's because it wasn't even supposed to be a mech show originally. They were forced to tack that on, so it's fine. It doesn't really affect the plot. Gurren Lagann, which we've mentioned before, also a well-loved show, probably better loved than even Code Geass, which is pretty well-loved. I don't like the designs of the characters. I don't like the designs of the mech. I don't like the plot. Some cool music, though. Gotta give it that. There's one episode... No, there's one episode in the entire show, the first episode after the time jump, that is actually genuinely engaging and really good. And I don't know why that episode.
I love that, because you hate Gurren Lagann, but like people mostly hate the time jump in Gurren Lagann.
That's the only part I like.
Yeah, you love it.
Well, because like there's actual the characters actually interact. The characters actually have some pathos. The characters actually have some growth. It's the only time you see the characters grow. It's the only time you see the characters interact in an intelligent way that's not just fan service or random. Like there's actual interesting developments in the plot, and then all that goes out the door pretty quickly, and actually mind control's brought up, and it gets stupid again. And then also I haven't gone through it, but so far I'm a few episodes into Darling in the Franxx, which is a new mech show, and I can't stand it, and I think it's terrible. But maybe it gets better as it goes along because I'm behind and I'm watching the dub. So, and then finally for my good, Metal Gear Solid, which I know is kind of cheating, but I'm gonna throw out there's some mechs in that. And I think that's really great. And I actually think it uses mechs intelligently, where it's not overusing them. And then along the similar vein, Full Metal Panic, which also... I tend to like shows that aren't mech shows, but have mechs in them.
Okay.
So
that's fair.
Both of those are kind of in that vein, where they have mechs and they're really used to great effect, but you can go a long time without... It's not like you have a quota of you have to have this many mech battles per episode. And I tend to enjoy it when they're kind of a background thing rather than the main plot device, I think.
Fair.
So Bobby's red.
Wow.
I'm not red. I just know you're wrong.
Okay.
So, all right. So, real quick. Since somebody already chose, I wouldn't say G Gundam is my favorite, but like since I'm gonna go to the opposite of Lawson, my favorite is probably Code Geass. Because Lawson is wrong, and he thinks he's smarter than he actually is.
No. I don't think I'm smarter than...
He laughed. Here's something.
I don't think I'm smarter than you. I just have a strong opinion on it.
Yeah.
Code Geass is probably my favorite. It's great. Then my worst, because I have to say this, it's double Zeta. I mean Zeta Gundam. Like
it's okay.
It's hard to get through. Camille is a terrible protagonist. He's just awful. And then
wait, his name's Camille,
Camille,
like the wife from the Cosby Show.
Camille's
or like
Camille's a boy's name,
or like
okay,
I guess close to chamomile.
My wife Camille, bibbida boppida.
It's hard to get through. I mean, I would say like, and I will say a weird one, which I've tried watching, couldn't really get into it, but since we're going weird, I'm gonna say Evangelion. People love it, but it's
watched that yet.
It's so weird at times.
It just looks weird from a distance.
Well, like they get really serious.
Watch it together. We should all watch it.
We should watch it.
I mean, we can. But it's like they. I feel like people think it's deeper than it actually is.
No, it's 100% not. It is the. I think it's. Have you ever heard of the term vent art?
No.
Vent.
It's
art.
when an artist, usually emotional teenagers, let's be honest, like just are feeling like no one understands me, and so they draw like a really edgy thing and there's like all this quote unquote symbolism in it.
Yeah.
This is Hideaki. He was deep in depression. This is his vent art. I'm not kidding. He just was like, I feel emotions and no one gets me. And he made this giant thing, and they made it a full production because most people can just draw a picture. He got to make an anime. And so it's very personal, and it has a lot of raw emotions that I think are real because they're coming from this guy who's feeling a lot of stuff. But it's not deeper than I feel sad, and I have these vague thoughts, and I'm putting them in without any meaning. That's what it is.
And yeah, I mean, honorable mention is Power Rangers, but they don't. It's not mech heavy, so I didn't include that. So here you go.
So I might do mine a little differently.
Mm-hmm.
I do have something I want to talk about.
Okay.
It's actually a different category than what you've talked about.
Oh.
You'll appreciate this.
Okay.
It is so bad it's good
Yeah.
category.
Yeah. I think G Gundam slips into that a little bit.
Yeah. No, no, it does not. It is far from it. It's so cool that it's awesome category.
I love G Gundam.
There's actually a live action mech show.
Really?
Or it's a movie. Excuse me. It was made in like late 80s, early 90s. It's called Robot Jocks.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, wow.
I know what you're talking
so,
about.
That sounds so
And I'm not being
familiar.
sarcastic. I actually know what you're talking about.
So
we would know if you, yeah.
So let me get this out. Because of this podcast, I watched that movie because I was like, this looks like something to be good talked about. And oh my gosh, was I right.
Oh, man.
It is let me explain the plot. And spoilers, if you want to watch Robot Jocks, which has like a 4 out of 10.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful.
IMDb. You better stop listening now because I'm about to explain the whole plot to this.
Okay, Robot Jocks.
So Robot Jocks is like a mixture of G Gundam, which we've been talking about a lot, and a weird combination of like VR Troopers. Or, it's just claymation robots.
Oh, yeah.
fighting each other.
Dude, it's so good. It's so good.
Claymation?
Yes, it's so good.
Yeah, it's like stop motion robots
Oh my
fighting
gosh.
each other.
I need to Google image this.
The pilots get in these like suits, and their suits are like plugged in like audio visual cables. Or I took a picture of it. So there's like this audio visual cables that are plugged into their gloves.
Yeah,
yes. Hold up. Was this an 80s movie?
Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
Dude, well, there's a Red Letter Media. They do Best of the Worst.
So I was about to say, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that, and I remember. Have you ever heard of?
Is that like
sorry.
the Master Glove?
Kind of.
It's
It's
good
like
bad
that.
flicks.
Yeah.
He did a thing on it.
So what were you saying?
So I need to explain the plot because, in a nutshell, this is where it gets great. They're fighting, and it's like a Mad Max style apocalyptic place where like these people look really poor, and they're in the stands watching these two robots fight.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it gets to a point where they're not supposed to use ranged weapons at a certain point, and they get up close, and of course, the Russian guy gets knocked down and he shoots his, rocket punch out, and the American guy gets up to try to save them. And he gets knocked over and falls on top of the stand and kills a bunch of people. I don't know why I'm laughing. He kills a bunch of people and falling on him. And I'm sitting here watching this show and I'm like, why would people be gathered around playing robots? Just watching in the stands, like at any moment they could fall, and like he crushed, and it shows he's looking down, and like there's teddy bears where he's realizing he's killed children, and it's terrible.
It's so over the top.
That is so crazy.
He feels guilty. He wants to leave.
There's only 2 robot battles in the entire thing.
Yes.
Or 3 maybe. But.
I think it's 3. His mentor, who's named Tex Conway, if you can imagine this guy, he has a cowboy hat. He's kind of chubby. He has a southern accent.
Is he Doug Dimmadome, owner of Dimsdale Dimmadome?
Yes.
Doug Dimmadome.
Yeah, it's just like that.
That is amazing.
He's like, "What are you doing, champ? You can't be leaving."
What are you doing, champ?
But the main character leaves because he feels guilty about like killing people.
Well, why are they fighting?
They're fighting to claim territory.
Yes.
It's
like instead of war.
It's like G Gundam.
Yeah.
It's like they're claiming.
But we never explained that about.
They're
G Gundam.
fighting
It's a tournament fight for
like instead of wars we have robot fights.
Exactly.
Supremacy.
So they're claiming they're specifically fighting over Alaska.
Yeah. Because that's where the last of the oil is, right?
Yeah, I guess so, something like that. So it's Russia versus America. Okay. And he leaves in one of these. It's a very awkward scene where they talk about the test tube babies. Mm-hmm. Well, he's like, "Why can't I make a direct deposit?" Because they wanted his genes because he's such a good pilot, and this guy is so pasty. So he ends up falling. I guess he falls in awkward love with this
awkward love.
Yeah, awkward. There's no chemistry at all. You're like, what? It's just weird.
It's just contrived.
But he comes back basically to save the girl pilot. He's going to take his place.
Okay.
She's getting her butt kicked. He jumps back in. The fight ensues. He gets basically defeated and somehow defeats the Russian guy without a robot, and they become friends at the end, which is the picture
Yeah.
I showed of them
the two fist bumping.
fist bumping.
Okay, so hence the
Yeah.
A lot of other craziness happens, but it was a great watch. I really enjoyed the movie.
that is amazing.
There's another Mech show. I can't remember what it's called, but it only lasted for like one episode or like an OVA, and it's apparently so awful. I can't remember what it's called.
I know I went on a tangent. I'm sorry.
No,
that's
it's
fine.
perfectly
It's fine.
Have we all gone?
Yeah, well, I think we just got one last thing before we wrap up.
Sure.
We probably need to do it kind of quick because I know we've gone on a while. But
We have
No,
gone
it's
over-
fine.
This is gonna be one
I
of our
can bring
longest.
it in. I've kind of memorized the subject enough. But
the what do we want from the?
what do we want? Yeah. So, from what we've researched,
Yeah, you've researched extensively. I know.
from what I know, got the whole mech genre has kind of declined in a way.
Yeah,
Lost its popularity.
I would say so.
Okay, and now, in hopes of it resurfacing, what are we wanting from it? Like, what would the best way for it to be? What's the best way for it to resurface into the mainstream media?
I think we've said a lot about this. I think first off, you need to ditch. I know people love this about Gundam, and I know specifically the Japanese market really likes this. You need to ditch you need to have watched 40 episodes callback things because there's a wider market, especially in America, that is willing to get into this if we don't have to go watch 30 other shows to understand the one we're watching.
I'll agree with that.
For as much as I don't like the show, I think Darling in the Franxx is actually handling that pretty well. It's a unique IP with an interesting hook that is instantly recognizable, and you there's nothing about it that you don't have to have a lot of backstory, and they're really condensing things, and I think it's handling that well. So I just wish it would do that without being centered around emotional, like, 4-year-olds. I think that's the other thing that we deal with, is that's a trope that's very heavily associated with the mech genre, is everyone is like a teenager because they're the only ones that can pilot that. And that's actually a huge thing Ava's even parodying or deconstructing, is it's got to be teens in these things. We've all mentioned G Gundam a lot of times. There are like, maybe, I know they're supposed to be young, but there are a lot of adults or at least older teenagers. We're talking into 18 to 20-year-olds in these mechs, not a bunch of 14-year-olds, and I think that is a strength for it. I hate the poorly written teen drama in these giant robots. I don't think it adds anything. I think we need to move on to actual adults in these robots.
It's been done so many times.
The teenagers? Or
the teen thing. It's
like there's specific instances where I think it might work. Like Full Metal Panic does great by making it a high school comedy that also has people in mechs, and so like the comedy aspects found out, it's like, why are these teenagers in these mechs anyway? And I think that works. But
it's a fun show.
Yeah,
you know they were making a movie about Full Metal Panic.
I know there's a movie. I know the third season's airing right now in America.
No, they were making a movie, an American movie with Zac Efron.
Yes.
But that was like a long time ago.
Oh my gosh, that would have been amazing.
It was going to be Zac Efron as the main character. But that was back in like 2008, so it's probably
back when it was
happening.
popular again.
Yeah.
But it's coming back. That's one thing. You know, one thing is, as much as we've been talking down, there have been some resurgences. I don't think they're as good as the heyday, but we've got Darling in the Franxx, which is relative. I know y'all don't know a lot about that, but it's pretty popular in circles right now. There are still new Gundam shows coming out. Full Metal Panic's coming out. So I don't think it's as dead as it was maybe even 5 years ago, because it was really looking pretty. It was only Gundam, I would say. But I do think we need to get away from the high school drama, and I think we need to get away from a lot of you have to watch 30 shows to get to it. That's what I think needs to happen.
That's fair.
All right. What we need, more tournaments.
More tournaments?
Less lasers.
Okay.
More robot on robot fighting, like G Gundam. It's the best thing for it.
What's that show about the model, the smaller, like it's like a fake, like there were toys, but they're playing. You showed it to Josh.
Oh no,
Build Gundam.
You're talking about Build Fighters.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking that's a tournament setup with Gundam.
So, but there's some things lost in translation. But anyways,
no, sorry.
Just interrupt me.
That's what that's what you were talking about, right?
No, well, no.
Oh,
no,
I'm sorry.
Not at all. Because that involves Gunpla and selling toys. This has nothing to do with Gundam. Just more tournaments. Let's focus more on, I would say, more action and drama, less political stuff, because that's the problem with Gundam in general, which I know people are going to disagree with me. The political drama really hurts the show. Because they go, it gets overly convoluted and it makes no sense after a while, because you're not a general, you're not a 4-star general in an army. You don't know what the heck they're talking about half the time.
the Senate.
Yeah. So that, good designs, like if your mech looks horrible, nobody's gonna watch your show. That's honest truth.
That's another problem with Darling in the Franxx.
It sounds like a punk rock band.
It's a show. The mech designs are pretty bad. I'll show you afterwards.
Okay, so that's my thing. Just make it more down to earth, not too overly complicated. But Jesse,
Okay. I think that the mech genre needs to realize what it is: giant fighting robots.
Okay.
Without plots and subplots. And I agree with the Gundam issue where you got to go back episodes. Now, I don't want to piss any fans off that are listening to this. I love the Gundam timeline, the UC universe, but that's not going to draw new fans in, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, you can have both, can't you?
You can continue on the UC timeline. I'm not saying UC timeline is the Gundam.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know what it is. It's the main timeline.
You can continue on that stuff, but they don't focus on their pop-up universes at all. And there needs to be something to draw people in, like fighting tournaments. G Gundam was good because it appealed more towards Americans, but it was just like, hey, this is a really easy plot to understand. Giant robots fighting. Here you go. Have fun. Mm-hmm. That's what the genre needs. It needs to realize what it is and not try to make it dramatic or complicated. I think Pacific Rim 2 did a great job with that. Mm-hmm. They realized they didn't go too crazy in the plot. They had some twists and turns, and it was like, hey, this is what this movie is. Giant fighting robots. Here you go. Have fun.
Right.
It needs to be like that without getting into the stupid realm.
Yeah. No, were you
done?
Or...
just one example. A show that did this well is Megas XLR on Cartoon Network.
I don't know that one.
It's fantastic.
It is fantastic. So plot real quick.
Okay.
I know I keep talking,
but
I did a lot of research on this, and I watched it when I was a kid, and I recently watched it again, and it's fantastic. Basically, they take this mech, they send it in time. Mm-hmm. It ends up in a junkyard. Mm-hmm. This guy who is a gearhead, he works on cars, finds it, attaches his car to it.
What?
It's ridiculous. And he's the only one that can pilot it because it's controlled through his car. Huh. And it's a cartoon. And actually, Bruce Campbell shows up in the second episode.
Yes. What? I love Bruce
instantly
Campbell.
Sold.
Yeah.
Dude,
sign
me up.
They have a Voltron episode, and
is it like parodying different things?
Yeah.
Like
it's
fully coolly.
It's kind
mechs?
of a deconstruction.
No.
In a way. Would you agree
Nothing's
with
like
that?
fully cooled.
In some aspects, it
is created by it's a parody at times,
okay.
but it's more of a comedy. I don't know about this deconstruction,
well,
but
like the Princess Bride, where it's like almost parodying things, but also playing it straight.
Yeah. The good old tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
But anyways, I kind of wanted to bring that show up because it's fantastic.
Watch that now.
Yeah, it's a fun watch. I would encourage you to.
On modern Cartoon Network.
No. It was back
it's
like
back
in
the day.
2005, 2004.
Gotcha.
But it is on YouTube right now for free.
Ooh.
So you can.
Yeah,
watch
it's one of those
on
things
YouTube.
where Cartoon Network doesn't care at that point.
So.
Okay.
As an outsider.
Okay, but no, for the most part, Jesse, I would agree with you. Rein it in, and there's nothing wrong with the KISS law. Keep it simple, stupid. Mm-hmm. Cause it's so difficult to like if you add complicated political heavy drama, like you can't avoid it coming off as like heavy and convoluted. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Okay, and this is just my perspective. Are we talking about like just bringing it back to the entire world, or like maybe to America, or what?
I think it's mainly to Japan.
Well, at the risk of sounding conceited, I think if you get America on board, it will spread to the entire world.
Gotcha.
Because American pop culture permeates a lot. I'm just saying, American.
No,
pop
you're not wrong.
America.
You really aren't. Okay. Let's just. I'm gonna go to keep it simple. Go from the bringing it to America perspective. Mm-hmm. Just fresh out the oven. Just a fresh new idea for Gundams.
Does it have to be Gundam?
I mean, yeah, maybe Gundams. Yeah, like I would want it to be Gundams.
I would take a G Gundam sequel too, though. I'm not gonna lie.
G Gundam sequel would be interesting, but no.
So fun fact: there was 12 or 13 tournaments before the season we watched.
Yeah,
there's a lot of material that they could bring back, but they don't.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just a fresh new take on the Gundam lore Just a fresh new show that, it's not too heavy on political drama, and it keeps it simple. It's like, okay, these are giant robots, and they fight, and it's amazing.
I should have mentioned Noah Zero. I'm regretting that now, because it tried to do that, but it failed so bad. I think a lot's in execution, because
I didn't watch it, so I don't.
Well, that's exactly. I'm like, it was actually trying to do exactly kind of what you were talking about. There was some political stuff, but it was pretty easy to follow. It was not complicated. It was just, but it failed in execution.
I didn't think Code Geass was very politically charged. So like, it wasn't.
Are you kidding me?
I didn't think it was hard to follow. Like, not like Gundam wise.
No, okay, that's fair. Yeah, it's very politically charged. I just think it's
not like
politics.
Yeah, it's not like.
I
didn't watch it, and they're like,
that's
what?
not hard to figure out. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
but that's just me. That's just my.
I think that's a good point. I think we're all in agreement that, and it doesn't mean that we saying you have to get rid of all callbacks, because I love callbacks and references. It's gotten so dense. It's hard to get new people in.
Exactly.
And the market is dying. You need to create some side projects where you're going to get a new audience in.
Yep.
There you go.
I agree with that.
More fan service.
You should watch Darling in the Franxx then. Have fun with
that. There
you go. You had something you said you wanted to say at the end of the episode.
So real quick, besides I just remembered two RIPs, rest in peace to I forgot his name.
Oh
no. No. This is different. This is a different guy. The guy who played the general, the boot camp from Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, Arlie Ermy.
Arlie Ermy.
Yes.
R.I.P. to him.
Yes,
he was great. Fantastic actor.
Very.
You know, Full Metal Jacket, even Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Crash Bandicoot.
Was he in Crash Bandicoot?
Second one.
Oh, cool.
He's done a lot of
voice.
stuff.
Yeah.
He's out there, and he's very supportive to like the troops and stuff.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of pictures from some friends of mine who have pictures with the man, and he seemed like he was a very genuine.
Seemed like
person.
a cool guy.
Yeah. So. And then last but not least, the longest reigning WWF champion of all time, Bruno Sammartino, who passed away a couple of days ago, which I know I'm dating when we did this, but he was, he's a legend. Kept the WWF title for like 10 years, which is a long time. Only lost 2 matches, and that was both for the titles. So like he lost one after 10 years. And then he lost it again after holding it for 3 years. So he kept it for 13 years all in total, which is mind-boggling now. Because there's no way you keep anybody in that title for 10 years. It'd get boring. But, he drew a lot of money, so,
Yeah. There you go.
So,
well, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Perfect. All right.
On that chipper note.
Yeah. Very chipper. This was interesting, and I did not feel as on the outside as I thought I would.
I'm glad.
Yeah. So this is beautiful. So I guess this is Geekisodes.
If there's one takeaway from all this, I think it's that you should go watch G Gundam if you have not.
Yes.
And someone make a sequel.
YouTube,
please.
YouTube it.
It's free on YouTube.
It is free on YouTube.
The dub is gold.
I was definitely able to watch it.
Build the model kits, grow the hobby. That's my plug.
Spread the word.
Also, you can listen to our podcast. I've already said this, but YouTube. On YouTube,
subscribe, do the whole thing.
We're not
support
on
us.
iTunes yet. We've got one episode on iTunes.
We have
one episode on iTunes, but guys, baby steps. This is progress. It can happen. We believe in us.
Believe in the me that believes in you.
Yes. This is Geekisodes, and signing out. Hail Cthulhu.
You say a lot of crap. I don't know what you're talking about, and I just listen.
Oh,
that's how I go to your church. I just listen to the preacher. I don't raise my hand like, why is there circumcision? Because the last time that happened, I got in trouble.